feet. Touchdown, Ravens!
What a play by the Ravens. It's going to result in a touchdown. Play action. Pass is caught. That's going to be a first down for the Ravens. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Ravens! And the crowd goes wild.
All right, we're here back with the Play Action Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Lamont Johnson.
I'm head coach Jonathan Coddington. Good to be back, and especially good to be back after a win. Always a little bit more fun after you win on Saturday.
Yep. So we're here for a Week 2 recap. Like Coach said, we got our first win. Coach Kai got his first win here, and that was a great experience, great atmosphere. You got any highlights from the game?
Yeah, man, I would say there'd be a ton of individual plays that, I think are worthy of highlighting, and we'll kind of talk through some of those. I think just seeing the excitement on guys' faces after the game, just the kind of that realization of all the hard work that they've put in, both from, looking back to the off-season, spring ball, camp, leading up into the week, when the preparation pays off and you get to see the fruit of that. And I think that's an awesome thing, and it's, great to get to celebrate that win with our guys.
Heck yeah, no, I agree, especially for those upperclassmen, the guys who kind of been here and kind of suffered through a lot of the change that was going on. It was great for those guys to kind of reap the fruit from this weekend. I say for me, it was kind of similar, just the camaraderie, guys on the sideline. We had a lot of turnovers on defense, and one actually went back for 80 yards, so that was exciting. Headsets falling off our hips and dropping papers, trying to make sure guys staying back on the sideline. So that was a lot of fun, and like I said, we got a different taste in our mouth.
Yeah.
You could kind of see it on our guys' face. You could kind of see it in the weight room today, in today's lifting session. It's a different type of energy, and hopefully we continue to build off of that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Awesome, the momentum that you can get and just what that can do for you as you move on. Yeah, I know, as we kind of dive into some of the plays from, this past week, you already mentioned, Zaire's, interception return for a touchdown, was a huge turning point, in the game for us, and just a massive play. The excitement of the sideline, running down, everybody making sure nobody's running on the field. I know my shoe came off partway through, my headset went flying. Those are always fun plays, and you look back and it's like, why am I only in one shoe? This seems a little bit odd, but Zaire's captain for us, tough dude. He did a great job, and covered our secondary. Did really good locking up a team that wanted to throw the ball a lot, and our defensive backs, they really stepped up big. Coming up with 2 picks. Elijah Hearns at the end of the game, kind of sealing the game with an interception that he really wanted to return back for a touchdown. Couldn't quite make it, but it was great to see the defensive backs play really well. But man, up front, defensive line got after it. 8 sacks from the defense. Siddiqui Traore, HCAC Player of the Week, D3Football.com, Team of the Week, Raven of the Game. Like, that dude had 4 sacks by himself. Man, he was in the backfield all day long, along with Connor Huffman adding a sack, Jonathan Hayward Dupree, Elijah Hearns adding a sack, Jake Simpson adding a sack. And everybody was eating, and those guys got after it up front. So, great to see, those big plays on the defensive side of the ball. Awesome to see the excitement that comes with that. And, out of all those guys, who had the best sack celebration?
Oh, man, I'll probably have to say my boy Connor Huffman.
Yeah, that dude just gets juiced up whenever.
Classic punch.
Yes,
yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah,
And he had a great game. He's had a great career up to this point, and it's still going. Cracked the top 10 all-time in career tackles for loss as an Anderson Raven. Now he's number 10. Hopefully he keeps climbing up that ladder, and we're excited to see where he goes, and Ben looking for a repeat performance again, up front this week.
Man, I know. I just want to give my flowers to the freshmen. Freshman came in, mentioned Jonathan Hayward Dupree, freshman defensive lineman, getting his first sack. Elijah Hearns making big plays in the secondary, in the air, and he got back in the backfield. So tip my hat off to those guys.
Yeah, special teams player of the game as well too. For us, going down, flying down, making some tackles on kickoff. He definitely did a really good job there. So how about on the offensive side of the ball? What were some of the things that stuck out to you on offense?
Oh man, I think we did a great job in the box. We did a lot of pin and pull this week. We had a couple skinny guys, a couple skinny receivers in there. Julian Hogan, our senior captain, he did a good job in there. We even had one of our quarterbacks Carson Brookbank, he got in the mix a little bit in the run game, and it was just great to see us. We actually played two quarterbacks. You know, it was great to see both of them complement each other, and then our starting quarterback, Zach Montgomery. You know, he keep feeding them. You know, we're doing a little bit of running with Carson, and you know, it was just nice to see that we got support coming from the sideline for these guys getting in and moving the ball for us. But we ran the ball really well, rushed for 200 yards. We had a couple big conversions from some names we said before: Gabe McGuire, Julian Hoagland. You know, so it was just great to see us pound the rock and establish that run game.
Absolutely. I think first time in a while, run for 200 yards. Big shout out to the offensive line. They were, as a group, the offensive players of the game. And you know, whenever you can have a dominant run game and go for 200 yards, also did not allow a single sack all game. You know, our offensive line units ranked first in the conference as far as sacks allowed so far through the first couple weeks. You know, doing a really good job. You know, with that, Coach Williams and Coach Blackwell have been getting those guys right, and a lot of guys stepping into some cool situations. So yeah, no, that was definitely fun. I know from a few of those plays, you know, that you mentioned, you know, both of our quarterbacks rushing for a touchdown. You know, Zach Montgomery on a 4th down scramble, you know, drops back to pass, doesn't have a whole lot open. We get a nice pancake up front, you know, by the offensive line by Dre Malo out there at left tackle, and then man, Zach just lowers his shoulder and lays the boom on a defensive back going into the end zone. That was cool to see. And then you know, Carson comes in, you know, later on in that 4th quarter, and you know, really seals the game with you know, a nice touchdown run to the boundary. And you know, we'll get to talk to Carson here in a few minutes in our film room, and you know, great to see both of those guys you know, really add a lot of value in the run game for us. And you know, you gotta love when you got two tough dudes at quarterback that are willing to put their shoulder down and go get those yards that are needed. And you know, I think that everybody on the team would describe both of those two guys as really tough guys, and not just quarterbacks but good football players as well too.
Yeah, so good people.
Without a doubt. You mentioned, you know, Gabe McGuire coming up with a big 3rd down run on a fly sweep. You know, had another explosive run earlier in the game. Julian, you know, adding into the run game as well too with a good run on a fly sweep. You know, definitely it was one where, you know, we didn't have, you know, one guy in that 200 yards rushing. It wasn't just one guy. It was 7 or 8 guys that all contributed, you know, with the ball in their hands. And you know, great to see, you know, the backs, the receivers, the quarterbacks all getting involved in that run game there.
We all showed a level of toughness, you know, and speaking to Gabe, that 3rd down conversion, it was, Gabe, we're going to get this 1st down. I need you to get this 1st down. He said, I got you, Coach.
Yep.
Broke 2 tackles, then stuck his nose in there, got the 1st down. So that was great to see.
Yep, that was definitely, I think, one of my most memorable moments of the game was just saying, hey, this one's coming to you. I believe in you. Let's go get it. Yeah. And he showed it and proved it right. So that was definitely awesome. You know, and then, you know, on special teams, you know, some definitely some good plays. You know, Corey Layton, freshman kicker, you know, putting some points on the board for us. You know, Elijah St. Pierre, senior punter, you know, pinning one down, you know, inside the 10-yard line, you know, for us, really flipping the field. You know, and then as we talk a lot about situational football as well too, and there was a situation kind of that came up where, you know, they were kicking a longer field goal. You know, instead of going after it, try to block it, we had a returner back. We were able to kind of return that for, you know, an explosive return that set up some good field position. And so, you know, those are things that you practice, you know, kind of each week, that you never know when those situations are going to arise. But, you know, we definitely pride ourselves in being great at situational football and being ready when those things happen. And so, I mean, that was great to see our guys. You know, they weren't phased at all. They were ready to go back and catch that, you know, and you know, Tone Hurd having a good return on that, having the guys up front, you know, being able to set that thing up, you know, for him to be able to create some great field position for us. You know, definitely was, you know, really cool just to see some of those things that you don't know when you practice them whether they're going to come up, but man, it was a good thing that happened and, you know, kind of paid off for us. And you know, there were a few other situations in the game too where guys had you know, kind of, you know, said, you know, hey, I know that this rule was going to come up because we went over it during camp, whether it was the 10-second runoff at the beginning of the first half, you know, the times of the 2-minute timeout that got added in, the different clock rules within those last, you know, 2 minutes of when it starts, when it stops, all that type of stuff. You know, we've got guys that are, you know, learning a lot of really good football and you know, kind of remembering some of this stuff, which is always great to see kind of the progression of that.
Yeah, man, it's keeping the guys engaged. You know, I had one of the receivers to this morning. He was actually giving Elijah Hearns crap because Elijah Hearns got his interception at the end of the game. It was the last few seconds of the game, and he wanted to take it back to the house, but the clock ran out, and he ended up just going out of bounds. But Preston Yoder, one of the receivers, he said, "Man, I really wish you would have just took a knee because I wanted to get in victory formation. We never got in victory formation." So, but it's all situations, and I thought that was pretty cool. He said he wanted to get in V formation.
Yep,
So,
you gotta love it. Best play in football, right? The best play call. Let's just take a knee. Let's ice this game. Let's call it a day. So, yeah. Well, cool. Well, I know we got Carson Brookbank that we're going to bring into the film room today. Kind of talk through a few of his runs, his touchdown run. Let's go ahead and bring him on.
All right.
All right, well, welcome to our second film room session here. Today we got Carson Brookbank with us. Carson, welcome to In Front of the Camera on the show.
Thanks for having me in front.
Yes, well, so for those that don't know, Carson actually is behind the camera on most of these. Is one of our, he's a sophomore for us, plays a little bit of everything all over the field, and is also in our cinema media arts program. Does a great job, kind of working a lot of the digital media stuff, and but excited to talk about your football play here today. So I want to go through a couple plays with you here. First being, kind of your first, carry in the game. Now you'd played several different things, both on offense and special teams already up to this point. And man, you've been just a dude that's really done just about anything and everything for us this year. What's been up to this point? What's kind of been your favorite football memory as kind of as a Raven?
Favorite football memory has probably been just stepping on that field the first time last year against Alma. I got my first college snap behind the court or behind the center, and it was just you just feel the energy, and it was unreal feeling. I remember John L. telling me it was a read option on the end, and John L. goes, "Just pull it, man." I was like, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "Oh, absolutely."
And you took off, you ran for some yards, and then you got popped on that first one.
I did get smacked.
Yes, welcome to college football. Yeah. And since then, you've delivered a few pops as well too on the field. But so your first carry, obviously, back last year. Now let's take a look at your first carry here in the game, and it was in a big moment. So third quarter just ended. We're going to the fourth quarter, and it's 3rd and 7. It's at the point in the game where we're up by a point, and we really need to put this ball in the end zone this drive to be able to go ahead by 2 scores to be able to get to a point where we can really feel a lot more comfortable in this game. So decided to put you in there, and we ran a sweep to the boundary with you, got into an empty formation here. Now as we break the huddle, we get to the line of scrimmage and you take the snap. Kind of talk me through this play from your point of view as we roll the film here.
Well, I like how the corner was playing in on me. I thought if I can get the edge on him, I know I'm getting that first down, and I love following behind my boys up front. Quinn, Dietrich, Pipes, and Dre. And I knew as soon as I got that edge, nobody's bringing me down after that first down.
Yeah, so you got Quinn Dryband, senior captain offensive lineman, pulling out around for you. I know that defensive back right there, he wants nothing to do with Quinn. He just kind of turns his back, says, I kind of give up here at that point. Get that first down, and that's huge. On a 3rd and 7, normally it's a passing down because you're like, all right, we got to get these 7 yards, but man, we're confident with you behind those guys being able to get that, and obviously it was a good thing. So after a big run, decided to come back very next play and say, hey, let's put the ball in this guy's hands again behind these guys. Now, a little bit different of a play call this time around. We're kind of faking an inside run and then having you follow the back leading out to the perimeter. So similar concept, but a different play. Take us through this one here.
Well, with the fake, we got the backers to flow, so I was like, okay, we can get the edge again, and then we got the corner bailing for some odd reason. I don't know if he's scared of Pipes or what was going on there.
Scared of you, I think, at that point.
But yeah, just nice blocking up front, able to get the first down again. We love to see it.
Yep, without a doubt. Now, I'll say from from the coach's side of things, great fake, and I think the fake is what really sets this up because, just like you said, you see those linebackers really step up to Phil Hard thinking, all right, this is a downhill run, and really take themselves out of play on that. And so, great job between you and LJ at running back with just the attention to detail. If there's not a good fake, this isn't a very good play. All those little things really set that up, and as they get to the edge, whenever Caleb Pipes gets his hand on somebody, I mean, it's over at that point. Like, that guy is not going to be able to see the light of day anymore. Does a good job there. We get out of bounds. We keep it running. Decide to feed you one more time after that as well too. I think you're probably a little gassed after 3 straight runs.
Linemen were making fun of me because I get back to that. I'm like, next play, Trixie, right? I was like,
Yep, for sure. So then later on in that drive, we'll bring you back in as we get closer to the red zone. Okay, 1st and goal at the 4, and as we say, hey, Carson, it's your time. Let's get back out there. Go back to very similar play to that very first one, different formation. Okay, but that same play where we're gonna run that pin and pull sweep to the boundary here. Talk us through your first touchdown of the year.
Just really exciting. I loved how they lined up in a bunch set. I was like, I got the edge. As soon as they lined up, saw them all in the box, I was like, nobody's catching me on the edge. So just followed Quinn. They sealed him all the way in.
And we got the touchdown, yes. And then, on a drive where, it was an 8-minute drive. And, man, it's a thing of beauty when we can stay on the field for 8 minutes and just have run after run after run where we're gaining yards, imposing our will on the opponents. By then, they're packing the box because we've, established, that run game and, the ability to get outside was great. And, obviously an exciting touchdown to really, put us ahead for good in that game. And one thing I got to bring up here because there's a phenomenal picture of it. Makes a great photo moment there, okay, but this celebration before we're even in the end zone, like, man, let's celebrate after we've crossed that goal line right there. But man, great run on your part, great job up front. Love seeing all of the linemen, the receivers, everybody celebrating because as we talk about offensively, it takes all 11 guys, right? Like you're the one that gets celebrated here, but it's all these dudes that made this happen, to be able to get that ball in the end zone. And man, it was exciting to see your first touchdown.